Hey everybody, Jason from aCheck here. In this video we're going to look how we can use Airtable and aCheck to create QR codes and store them on the records. So the end result we want today is to generate a document similar to the one on the screen. We're going to use aCheck to create the QR code, and we're going to use something called Documint to create the PDF and embed the QR code on there. So first of all, let's have a look at Documint and what we can do with Documint. Okay, so we're looking at Documint. Documint is an online service that enables you to automate the creation of documents. So it works with Zapier, Make, Stacker, has an API and integrates well with Airtable. So you can pretty much take any data you have, merge it into a document, and then create that document, and then Documint will pass you that document back. So this works by creating templates. So you create the template of the document you want, and we'll have a look at that in a minute. Pass the data, and then Documint will do the rest. So great for automation. So let's log in, have a look at the template that we're going to be using, and see how we can use Documint to create our documents. Okay, so we're logged into Documint now, and we are looking at the template. So it's all about the templates here. You design the document how you want it using the designer, so the document designer that they have in Documint, and then you just merge the information, pass it to Documint, and let them create the document. So the one we're going to look at is this one here, which in the example we're going to be using is a travel certificate for COVID. So again, this can be anything. We're just using this as an example. This is something we've done a lot of. But all we're going to do is create the document how we want it to look. So we're going to drag the logo on. We've got the header, and we're just dragging text fields and dropping them in there. We can create tables and sections and columns, as you can see here, and then we just have the information we want, and then we just have these variables here that we're going to pass the information to. So to do that, you can just drag across these variables and add them in there. And if you're using Airtable, there's various different ways to automate with Airtable. So if we just go to integrations, you can see all the integrations they have here, and Zapier and Make just open this up to work with anything. But in Airtable, which we're going to use, we have 3 different ways in Airtable to generate documents. So you can use the Airtable application, so the extension to do that. You can use a link generator, so you can create a button to generate them, or you can use a script to automate in bulk. And we'll have a look at it all when we get into Airtable. But in this case, we're going to be using the script. And to create the script, all you'll do is paste the table URL in there, the name of the field that you want the attachment to go into. So when you automate the creation of the document, you want it to come back into Airtable. So the field name in here, various options in here, depending if you want to overwrite and things like that. But then Documint will kindly generate the script for you, and you can cut and paste it in, and we'll have a look at that in a minute. So once you've got your template set up, then we're ready to pass information to it from Airtable. So if we just click on here as well, we can just get a preview of the document. We can add some data into the document here. Preview the document again. So there we name. So you can populate the information, see what it looks like. Once you're happy with it, then we're going to jump into Airtable and start generating some documents. So let's jump into Airtable now and see how aCheck and Documint work with Airtable. Okay, so now we're logged into Airtable, and we just have a table here that we're working with, one table called COVID tests, and we have information in here. So we'll have barcode numbers, names, email addresses, date of birth, all the information that we want to use to generate the document and create the document. So if we open this one, for instance here, let's just click on this document, you can see what it looks like when it's completed. So it's populated all the information with the fields that we sent to Documint. So this is the end result here. Before we do that, we want to create the QR code using aCheck. So we're going to create a QR code here, like this, and attach it. So once that's done, we can then create the document and embed the QR code onto the document. So we're going to automate the entire process here. But first, I just want to show you the different ways you can use Documint to create documents. So there are 3 ways which I talked about. One way is to create a link. So the option you'll have in Documint is to create generate a link. It's a generation link. And what you can do with that link is then put it behind a button. So if we just look at Airtable here, we just cut and paste it into here and it generates a button with a URL behind it. So let's take one, for example, this one here, and we want to create this document. So we're just going to click on this button. It's going to use the template that we created. It's going to open and generate and open the document here. Okay, so the document's all generated. We haven't got the QR code here because we haven't generated it yet, but the information we have is all here. So let's close this and go back to that record, this one here, and we can see not only is it created it, it's also added it into the record itself. So now that could be emailed or just stored. So this is one way of doing this. So we're using the link to create it using a button. So this is useful to just do one-off creations. We also have the extension. So if you go to extensions and you add an extension, search for Documint, you'll be able to create documents using the Documint extension. So let's have a look at an example here. So again, this is a manual way of doing things. So you could do one record at a time. So all you have to do is select a record. Let's select this record and preview it. And it's just going to show us what that would like, and then we can generate the document. So it gives us a preview of what the document looks like, and then we can just generate the document. So do that again. We could just generate the document, it will create the document and attach it to the field. So they're the two manual ways of doing this, but what we want to do, we want to automate it all. So we're going to use the script. So if I go to automations, you'll see what I've got here. And what I want to do is create a document when a record goes into a particular view, and then run the script. So let me just quickly show you the script. But like I say, all of this is done for you. You generate the script in Documint, you just tell it the table name, you put in the API key, the field you want to store the document in, and then you just cut and paste it all into here. So all this is going to do is just run this script that we've got and create the document when a record goes into a particular view. So let's have a look at how we can do the whole thing. So for the automations, all we're going to do is tick this box here. So we'll take this bottom record, we're going to tick this box. It's going to go into this view here, send to aCheck. So this is just a view that's looking for anything that has that box ticked. We're going to use make to connect to aCheck, generate the QR code and put it back into Airtable. So if you want to see how to do this, there's a video I've done previously which will show you how to set up and use make, Integromat as it used to be called, to generate the document and put it in there. You could also script this in Airtable as well, or you could use Zapier to do it. So the information on how to do this with aCheck is in the previous video and also our documentation. So if we just go back here, that's what will happen when we tick the box. It's going to generate and attach the QR code. So we should see the QR code come here. And then that is going to automatically trigger the automation to then generate the document with the QR code. Okay, so let's do that and see how this goes. So we're just going to tick the box now. I'm just going to run the automation in make. And what we should see is a QR code come into here. There's something coming in now. And because the QR code's in there now, we have the automation that's going to send to Documint, and Documint is going to generate the document as it's doing. So there we go. How great is that? So let's just have a look at what we've got. We have this here. So this is the QR code. This is the document that we just generated. The QR code should be embedded at the bottom, and it is, and all the information that we passed to it is also there. So we've created the QR code, which has then triggered the automation to create the document in Documint, and everything is in there ready to go. Also, if we were to scan the QR code that we have on there, I'll just show you what that looks like. So we have the URL that will launch when that QR code is scanned. So anyone scanning the QR code is going to be taken to this page where they can just verify the information on the document. Okay, so this is what aCheck is about. It's just about verifying information on documents or adding additional information to documents when it's scanned. So yeah, how great is that? I'm still blown away every time I create these automations. The tools that we're using are fantastic. To be able to create documents, embed QR codes, generate emails, all of this automation with no code whatsoever. So highly recommend you check out Documint. I'll put the link in the details in the description. And also, yeah, obviously check out aCheck if you have any questions. If you want to see any more demonstrations of how you can use aCheck to generate QR codes and verification codes, then please get in touch, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you for listening.